There are a great many young people in the school gym. Each is an individual, but in one important way, they're all alike. They're all growing up.
Is that the problem, Mr. Edmonds?
Yes, growing up is a problem.
It's recently come to my attention that the elder generations are a little dissatisfied with my peers and I. That's nothing new, right? For years, the older generations have looked down their nose at the younger ones. They must feel like they've instilled this sense of values, given us this model to live by. But the children have always been a little apprehensive to accept that without some modification. But no generation has been more radical or taboo with their way of thinking than the millennials. It must seem like we've taken the model and thrown it out in exchange for making our own. But why? The truth is a bit paradoxical. I know it's crazy, but the people who are frustrated with us now didn't raise us to follow a model. Here's the breakdown. In order to follow a model, a person would have to hold the value of conformity in high esteem, or just think it was alright to conform. But our parents didn't raise us to conform. They raised us to think that we were unique and had something special to bring the world around us. And therefore, we hold identity or self-actualization in higher regard than the model itself. And so, the problem is a simple difference of opinions and values. And it's my opinion that the elder generations are now seeking to make sense of the chaos that exists without the model. They have chosen, consciously or otherwise, to define us with a few convenient buzzwords. I think it's safe to say that there's more negative ones than positive ones.
Good words, I think, would be imaginative, hopeful. That's about it. I definitely hear negative ones more than positive. Right.
Maybe sheltered.
Something similar to like entitled.
Inflated expectations.
Idealist.
I found that millennials are widely seen as narcissistic, and that might be valid since we've taken enough pictures of ourselves to merit inventing a new word for it. But one really has to wonder where to draw the line between self-love and narcissism.
You know, by the time the war was over, you know, and the boomers started coming along, that included a college education, you know, and when you're out of college, of course, you better put your life together according to the set of expectations, you know. You get a good paying job, you get a family, you know, I mean, you marry and you start having children and you get a house, you know, and enough cars for your whole family to get around in. So, you know, those were kind of the standard set of expectations.
At that time frame? Mm-hmm. Probably being on my own, not having getting any money from my parents, being able to, you know, have a job and pay for everything, apartment-wise, car, all that kind of stuff.
I think our generation's definitions of adulthood are more characteristic-based and not action-based. And I think that's where our struggle is because with us, to be an adult, and my perspective is to really connect with my own thoughts and not follow what my parents think, where like traditional terms of adulthood is more, you know, have that family, have a career and settle down.
Sometimes they're described as self-absorbed, but I think a lot of that is just really about trying to understand themselves and their world and their place in it and trying to find that place because the model is shattered.
I think it's really unfortunate that our generation is perceived as lazy. I know a lot of friends who are very motivated, and I think it's just because in this certain day and age, our world is just more accommodating to our daily needs.
When I hear labels of people in their 20s, I think narcissistic, I think entitled, I think confused and not really knowing what they're doing, and lazy.
One expectation which came through, I think, no matter what family you were a part of, was this idea of working for the things that you want. I'm growing up, you know, if I wanted whatever, you know, a baseball bat, a bicycle or something like that, you know, I mean, I was contributing to it, you know, whether it was was at home or what, you know, a part-time job or something like that. You know, I mean, I was part of, you know, whatever investment it took to get that thing that I wanted.
A work ethic that, you know, whatever was asked of you, you did. You always went to work. You know, just because you didn't feel well, you didn't not go into work because there were people counting on you.
Well, but it seems to me that there are an awful lot of millennial generation kids, and I'm thinking the later ones, as a matter of fact, that seem to just, if they want something, to get it.
I mean, they're telling me that their mom bought them, you know, I don't know, an iPad or whatever, where my mom didn't spend that on 3 kids for Christmas. I don't think everybody's entitled, but I think I definitely think a lot of the generation is entitled. Everybody gives something, so they don't want anybody to be upset. Well, when I was little, I mean, if you didn't win, you didn't get the trophy. That's just how it was, and I think that's where the millennials are going to have trouble when they get to the workforce, because not everybody can win, and you know, it's just not like that.
And I know people complain, well, not everyone can win, but I'm not sure that's true. Maybe we all can win. And maybe millennials will be ones that are working towards collaboration instead of competition. Not that competition is bad. There's benefits to that too. Some things that are more difficult is that they don't want to pay their dues. They don't want to have to do things because that's the way we've always done them. And that can be challenging in the workplace where others have felt, well, I had to do that, so you have to do it too. So I think there might be some resentment there.
From the sounds of it, there might be just cause for the widely held discontentment felt by our predecessors. To them, we must seem like a bunch of tradition-bucking, participation trophy-toting, self-entitled moochers. But I mean, it can't be as bad as all that. Maybe they're just not seeing the flip side, our redeeming qualities. I mean, the world has changed a lot in the last 30 years. Shouldn't our outlook on it? And with the advent of a global society that hasn't hitherto existed, it would make sense that a group of individuals would have to change some rules to interact with it. Aha! It is we, the digital natives. And our favorite tools are social networking and the World Wide Web. And with the ability to learn anything and interact with anybody, is it any surprise that our priorities have taken a more relational tone?
I would say that a huge misconception about millennials is that we are extremely dependent. We're thought of as a generation that's unable to unplug. But as much as we're criticized for this, the expectations for our school and career performances hinge on our ability to utilize constantly evolving technology and process the constant flow of information.
%80 of millennials, according to Pew Research, sleep with their phones. This phone has changed how we interact with each other.
I personally like Facebook, I like Twitter. I use it I was at a baseball game, something exciting happened at a sporting event, did something fun with friends.
The whole thing is, I think to expect one generation to behave according to the way we understand the world and the way things operate is unrealistic, because the world changes. You know, we got more technology. You know, we didn't have computers when I was in junior high school, but the junior high kids today have never known life without a computer.
My mom didn't know if I went out of town when I was at college and stuff. Now it's all posted somewhere, so everybody knows what you're doing. So the perception would be is that, gosh, do those people ever do anything but, you know, are there on Facebook, and you know, because they're documenting every single thing that they do.
But I think there's a deeper thing going on about being in contact with the people you love and wanting to share and be. But I also think that that could have some negative ramifications later in life if you can't unplug, because it can be stressful to be available 24/7.
So, you know, my son now believes that he can learn anything from anywhere, you know, just by watching a YouTube video. Well, maybe.
Our generation is much more unprejudiced because of the fact that we don't frown upon differences and we embrace people from different cultures and traditions.
I truly believe that they're altruistic. I think that they really want to make a difference and they really want to help others.
So I want to go into the field and really highlight those pieces of students and let them better understand themselves. That way when they do go out and they do want to do their ideal career, they can better understand others.
Millennials have a heightened sense of fairness. We've been at the center of the social justice movement, which has brought a lot to light. And we utilize social media in order to bring light to injustices and therefore change them.
I have just as much common talking sports with you, or you asking me questions about college or what, than I do with somebody else.
I think that this generation is a mixed bag, but I think overall this mixed bag is a good bag. And I think that the blaming is just a convenient way to say, oh, I don't like this quality or this is different.
I think, it's an openness, and maybe curiosity is the best word, just willing to kind of think differently about things and explore things that are strange, unusual, or unknown.
I think that we have a tendency to be highly self-aware. And if we're looking at ourselves through an honest lens, it's not unrealistic to expect steady improvement of ourselves and our communities throughout our adult lives.
And if you had to choose a word that you would like to be described as, which one would you choose?
Authentic.
And why is that?
Because even if what we are doing may seem idealist, it's what we want to do, and we're not afraid to show that.
After listening to all these perspectives on my generation, I can safely conclude that not everyone thinks that we're the scum of the earth. I mean, we're a lot of things, ranging from self-absorbed to creative and compassionate, but we're just people, like our parents. I think the important thing is to remember that anytime we write someone off before we truly invest in getting to know them, we're doing each other a huge disservice. It shouldn't take a book to understand the next generation. I mean, the values are essentially the same. We all want to belong, we all want to matter, and we all want to make a difference.
We're going home for the summer.